Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting topic for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, some of y'all are going to be watching this like, they talking about the Knicks? They over there talking about the Knicks? Like, what's going on here? Well, I discovered some pretty surprising information. Okay. Unbeknownst to me, that over 2/3 of our viewers are people from New York City, which to me came as a major shock. Given the fact how much we talk about the Lakers and other things, I'm like, New York City? New York? I was shocked. And I was sitting there trying to figure out, how is this possible? You know, because it's somebody that grew up in New York and all of that. I'm surprised by this. And I'm like, yo, hold up. We got all of these New York fans and we're not even catering to them, not even a little bit. Now we've had the occasional comments from some of the New Yorkers. You'll talk about the Knicks, and I'm like, but don't nobody want to hear about the Knicks on our channel. I'm like, don't nobody want to hear about the Knicks. But then I'm seeing this data. I'm like, yo, hold up. So there are a lot of people from New York that watch the channel, and then whenever the Knicks have a chance to do well, as somebody that grew up in New York, I always root for the Knicks to do well because it feels good for the city to do well, right? So I said, you know what? Let's start, talking a little bit more about what's going on with the Knicks over there, and hopefully, we can also reach out to that segment of the audience that seems to be such a huge majority, right? So I said, okay, let's talk a little bit about the Knicks moving forward. So, as you all know, the Knicks have been one of the franchises that obviously have the most loyal fans. Like, New York Knicks fans are just so loyal. I knew a dude I used to go to high school with in art and design. His name was Cheyenne. Okay, I don't know if Cheyenne gonna see this video or not, but I don't know. But anyway, Cheyenne was a for real Knicks fan. Knicks fans don't care. Knicks fans don't care. If the Knicks could be the 8th seed going into the playoffs, you know what Knicks fans are going to be like? Yo, we going to win it all. You be watching them series between the Knicks and the Hawks and all how the Knicks fans be behaving. And it's something that kind of pisses off a lot of other fans. Like, why y'all so arrogant? Why y'all over there so arrogant about y'all acting like y'all the best? It's just how New Yorkers are, man. It's just how New Yorkers are. So I said, okay, let's talk about the Knicks. So recently, first of all, the Knicks got a big game coming up tonight against the cross-state rivals in the Boston Celtics over there. But they just came off a very, very impressive win just the other night against the Toronto Raptors, right? And in that game, Karl Anthony Towns was big. He had 27 points and I believe 20 rebounds. So that was a huge game from him. But Jalen Brunson and these guys hit some really, really clutch shots towards the end of the game. Jalen Brunson finished that game with 28 points on 47.6% shooting from the field, 28.6% from the three. He didn't shoot that efficiently from the three to a 7, but he did make 75% of his free throws. And you had other players like Josh Hart, who was the grit guy on that team. He chipped in 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Precious also chipped in 17 points as well for them. So they had a very good victory coming out of that game. And right now, if we look at the NBA standings, I believe the Knicks are currently the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference, only behind the Boston Celtics, who they're going to be playing tonight, and of course the Cleveland Cavaliers, who just been tearing up the entire league this season with a 42-10 record. But they do have a big game coming up against Boston tonight. But there's a major wrinkle to all of this, because arguably their biggest perimeter defender may not be available. So I did a little bit of digging this morning, and I came across an article from Knicks Daily that actually is giving a status update on OG Anunoby and whether or not he's going to be available. Before we even get into what this report had to say about his availability, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm very interested in this NBA game between the Celtics and the Knicks. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for up front. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into what this article had to say. It says OG Anunoby's injury status and update ahead of Knicks Celtics. It then continues on. 50 games have passed since the New York Knicks lost to the Celtics on NBA opening night in Boston. Since then, New York has found its footing, sitting third in the Eastern Conference, 1.5 games behind the number 2 Boston Celtics. Neither team has been able to catch up to Cleveland. Saturday's game at MSG will be a good test for the Knicks in one of their final games before the All-Star break. New York has won 8 of its last 10 games, and Boston has won 7. The Celtics are coming off of a 127-120 loss to Anthony Davis-less Mavericks. Boston struggled in the paint and couldn't make layups. Now let's get to OG Anunoby status for tonight's game versus the Celtics. OG's foot sprain is listed as doubtful. On Friday, Tom Thibodeau said Anunoby hasn't taken contact in practice since getting hurt, but is moving well. The Knicks have 2 more games after Saturday's matchup against the Celtics before the break. It wouldn't be surprising if Anunoby didn't return until after. And then the article then talks a little bit about some other injury reports like Drew Holiday and some other players like Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, who are probable as well. So that's what the article had to say there. What are my thoughts about all of this? Well, look. Why is OG Anunoby important? He's important because obviously he's a 3-and-D guy, but also he's probably the Knicks' best perimeter defender. And that's going to be important when you're going against all-star power small forwards in Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. So not having him available for that game is going to mean that other guys are going to need to step up, not just offensively, but defensively, because you actually have to guard teams. And if we look at the Knicks right now, in terms of their offensive and defensive ratings, this season, their defensive rating is 13th out of 30th. I don't know if that's really good. I don't know what they've been historically, but what we know about Tom Thibodeau teams is that they're usually very focused on defense. Last season, overall, the Knicks were the 10th overall ranked defense, and incidentally, they were the 7th ranked offense last season. This season, however, they're 13th in terms of defense, but offensively, they're the second best offense in the NBA, which to me is surprising. I didn't even know this, because when you think about the Knicks, again, you're always thinking about defense because of Tom Thibodeau going back to his Chicago Bulls days. Now, I don't know if their offense took an uptick with the addition of Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is a hell of a basketball player. He can definitely put the ball in the hoop. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It probably does, because I haven't been paying much attention to this team much this season at all. But I'm sure that his presence has definitely helped in terms of their offense. Now, going into this game, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be victorious because, to be quite honest with you guys, I haven't spent much time paying attention to the Knicks, but I'll get a better sense of what this team is all about the more I watch them this season. But I just said, hey, let's talk about the Knicks. Let's reach out to some of our fans out there in New York. So what I want to know from you guys, first of all, what do you think about our breakdown? What are some of the blind spots and the arguments that we put forward, and how do you see this game going forward, going forward tonight as they face the Boston Celtics? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.